Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here for another Vlogmas day. So today we are just going to do a really quick and easy video just showing you guys some of my winter meals and my festive drinks that I've been having for this month. So for breakfast on some days I have some festive toast with hemp hearts on top. Really simple, really easy on any whole wheat toast or a sprouted bread that we have. So a special someone sent over this yummy jam and I've been enjoying it thoroughly. And I like to top it with some hemp hearts just to add a little extra nutrition to my breakfast, especially if I'm on the go. And it's really simple to whip up. So I still drink my coffee, my decaf, my regular coffee, but I'm still trying to make sure that I get enough water in every day. And I've also added some electrolytes to my water, especially on days that I'm at work, because I find that really helpful. So this is a really quick and easy meal, and it's an extra way of me getting enough protein in for the day, just making sure that I have enough tofu. And then this is really great too because it's really good for leftovers or for work lunches. So I literally just put the tofu in my pan with a little bit of water and bouillon. I add some seasonings and let it do its thing. I add some soy sauce afterward, and that's going to be the only salt that I have in it. And then I'm going to just boil up my buckwheat noodles and throw that in. And then any mixed veggies that I have will go into this meal as well, and that way it's a no waste meal. So I found this festive drink at IKEA, and it's really tasty and something different to have during the holidays. I like to have stuff like this at home as well in case we get visitors. So of course I had to try it, and I really like it. Just having a hibiscus tea before bed just to get another medicinal tea in. I already got my green tea in. I already got my dandelion tea in as well. So just trying to keep on track with getting different types of teas in. That way, you know, each one actually aids in a different way. And I have a variety of different things that I am consuming. And yeah, I mean, along with my, obviously my vitamins and things like that, and trying to keep active. All these little things, you know. So hibiscus tea in particular is really good for heart health, for lowering your, you know, cholesterol, and for just helping with your blood pressure. But why I take it is because it's really good with hormone health for women in particular. So that's why I always like to have, you know, a cup here and there whenever I remember, because, you know, all of these little things, like I said, it's going to add up. So funny enough, hibiscus actually has things like calcium and magnesium and potassium, phosphorus. So yeah, I mean, it also has these other components to it that make it healthy as well. I actually decided to put this little sleigh here at the windowsill, and that way I can put in some of the teas that I drink daily, and that way I have them really handy and there's no excuse not to have it. And it's just easier than going into the, you know, dining room buffet and having to actually get it out in order to drink it. I can just grab it from here and that's it. Super easy, and it's a really cute little Christmas decoration. So I've made this recipe before on the channel, but I just rehydrate mushrooms and I make stews out of it or soups. And on this day, I did it with potatoes and it was super tasty, a really cozy meal on a winter day. And you can pack in a lot of nutrition with a variety of veggies, and I always keep it oil free. Okay, so I just added in, this was full with boiling water, some of the bouillon. I'm going to add a little bit more water and mix up the rest that's in there and just throw that in, give it a nice little mix. Okay, so I added some more water just so everything is topped with the water, and yeah, just that bouillon colored up the soup really nicely. And then we have our seasonings. Sorry, my phone's going off. I also have some wild rice. That's just a mix. I'm gonna put 3/4 cup in and then just let that cook up. If you have potatoes, you can do that. You can add more rice, you can add noodles, totally up to you how much you want to put, but that's how much I have. I'm gonna see if I have a little bit more of the white rice just to mix in, because I feel like it might not be enough. I like to put at least a nice full cup of rice, but I didn't have enough of this one. So yeah, I would say a nice full cup. And again, it depends on how much rice or how much potato you like, or noodles, very customizable. Okay, I went ahead and added some more rice because I do think I needed a little bit more, just some plain white long grain rice. And that's going to cook up for a little bit. It'll cook up the vegetables that are frozen for a little bit, and it will also cook up that rice. And yeah, I wouldn't worry about, I don't like my vegetables super overcooked, but it is a soup. Also, as they cook, they're going to release so much flavor into your soup, so I wouldn't worry about overcooking the veggies. It's just going to add more flavor. So I did leave out all of my seasonings, just in case I need it again, because I'm going to try my broth just to make sure. And if it needs more, I will add it, and if not, then I can go ahead and put it away. But I always like to leave it out just in case. That way I can retaste it and see how my seasoning needs to be adjusted. So I'm going to be adding the 6-bean mix, high in fiber, high in protein, just to give my soup an added nutritional boost. get that protein in because I am trying to add a little bit more into my diet and more fiber. So this will be perfect. And I'm just going to toss that in, let the rice cook up. It really does not take too long. And I just eyeball everything. Okay, giving that a nice little mix. The rice is already starting to cook, I can see. Again, it's because it's in a Dutch oven. It's going to cook a little bit faster. No big deal though. You can again cook it in any pot you have. It's just going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to put the lid on this. Actually, first I'm going to try it to see if I like it. Any additional spices are needed. Okay, so good. I think I might add just a little sprinkling of each thing just to add a touch more seasoning, but it really does not need much at all. It already tastes so good. But I always like to try it because you never know. You're adding in a lot of water. Even though there's broth, it will dilute everything. So you just want to make sure your soup is really tasty, especially if you're serving it to others, especially if you're serving it to non-vegans. Make it as tasty as possible. That way they are more inclined to be having these healthy meals. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and add some more of those seasonings, the same ones I used, the paprika, a little bit of poultry seasoning, oregano, and black pepper, and give it a mix. I'm going to cover it for like 5 minutes, and then that is it. Sorry guys, apparently everyone wants to get a hold of me today. My phone's been going crazy. So yeah, going to cover it up for 5 minutes, and that is all it's going to take in this because it's so hot, and the water is relatively hot already. But if you have another pot, just let it cook for a few minutes. Not a big deal. And then give it a mix. If your rice is cooked, you're good to go. Okay, so seasonings are in. Let's cover this up. Might not even need 5 minutes, to be honest. The rice is almost there already, but let's cover it up, let it boil up. It's like at a medium heat basically right now, but again, this thing is really hot. This pot is definitely worth the money. They are very pricey, and there are different ones. This one I think came from Costco, and I have a large one and a medium-sized one, but they really do save you time. It will cook everything a lot faster, and it's just super easy to cook things when you have something like this. So yeah, if you come across it for a good price, I do recommend them, but it's definitely not necessary. Super perfect, really delicious. I'm gonna get that heat turned off. This is gonna be so good. Okay, so the heat is off. I'm just going to help if I can get my mitten on. Okay, I'm going to move it over so that it's not cooking anymore. I'm going to leave the lid off because if I cover it, the rice will get way too overcooked. Again, it's because the pot that I have. If you have a regular pot, you could probably go ahead and put the lid right on it, just take it off the heat. But I don't want to risk overcooking my rice, so it's just going to stay like this. I'm going to go walk the dog, and then I'm going to come in frozen, and this is going to be a perfect meal to have before I start getting ready for the day. Again, this is early, like this is 10 o'clock. This is going to be my breakfast. Breakfast does not always have to be pancakes and smoothies and things like that. It can also be hearty vegetables. And yes, it can be soup, it can be beans. I'm just going to keep it healthy, keep it cozy in my hygge vibes. This is the perfect breakfast for me once I get in, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this. Okay, so I ended up having to add a lot more water because it was a little bit too much rice. So yeah, I would stick to my initial gut was put 3/4 of a cup, maybe even half a cup if you don't like it with too much rice. But I put too much rice. I added a little bit too much, which is not a huge deal because all you do is add more water, a little more broth just to re-season it, and it's good to go. So that is what I did in order to save the soup so it wasn't too thick. I do prefer more rice in my soups. Some people like just a little bit of rice, so again, customizable. Like I'll show you. I like a lot of rice in my soup. That's how I like it. So I really try to scoop up as much rice as I can. But there's still a lot of broth in here. So again, up to you how you like it, but that's how I like to have it. And even when I put potatoes, I like load up the potatoes because that's what keeps me full. So if I don't put enough rice or enough potatoes, I'm going to be hungry like in an hour because soup really is quite light. So you need something that's a little bit hearty in it. But again, I do like it on the heavier side with the rice or the potatoes, and you don't have to do what I do. So yeah, that is it. That is my yummy soup.
I'm going to enjoy that now. And this is really, really good with noodles. I've made it before with noodles on the channel. If you want to see some of those recipes, I'm sure you will find a whole bunch of different videos with the noodle version. But I don't add beans usually. Sometimes I will put in the chickpeas, but that is it. I really am trying to add a little bit more protein in my diet though these days, so that is why this 6-bean medley went in. And that way I can up my protein and my fiber for the day. So if you want to see how the soup looks here in the pot, it is still quite brothy. Like, you do have a lot of broth. But again, when I'm doing my bowl, I like to do this and scoop up as much rice as I can. But yeah, you won't get as much unless you really try like I do. Like, each scoop will be pretty hearty with rice. But again, I like to do this and just add in that extra bit and have less broth. That is my preference. But you know what? It's one of those recipes, whatever you have also that you don't want to waste, this is a perfect recipe, because that way there's no waste of vegetables. You can just throw them all in here. They're going to add a lot of flavor, even if they're super wilty and, you know, you have bell peppers that are like sad and wrinkly. It doesn't matter. Cut them in and put them in. They're going to add a lot of flavor. And it doesn't matter that they're wrinkly and getting old. This is a perfect recipe for no waste meals, because that way you get in all of your yummy veggies and you don't have any food waste. So don't judge me. I do like a lot of rice, you know, like it's pretty loaded with rice. You don't have to be like me and add 1,000,000 pounds of rice. But I just find it so comforting and so delicious, and I'm going to be so full for so long because I am eating more rice. But yeah, you can definitely cut it down because it is a little bit excessive. Maybe add half a cup into your whole pot if you like it with just a little bit. But this is so good. Oh my gosh, it is so, so, so delicious. Even the dog is like sitting beside me because he's like knowing that this tastes delicious. And he will probably have a little bit of the rice and veg. So yeah. So this recipe did not take very long to make. It was really, really easy. Again, it depends on what pot you're cooking in. It will cook a little bit faster in these Dutch ovens, but it is still a really, really quick and easy recipe, and super nice for the colder months.